My name is Basil Zaider, immigration consultant at Incubate. In this show, we're going to discuss business immigration in Canada. What's interesting about business immigration in Canada is the fact that, unlike other countries, the investor or the business immigrant has complete control over their funds or their investment money. Meaning you don't give your funds to a third party to invest it in your behalf and you become an inactive investor. You're actually investing the money in your own company, in your own project. The money remains under your control, and at all times you'll be actively managing your business and actively managing your investment. So you would be deciding the outcome of your investment because there's a specific business plan that you're going to have to demonstrate to the Canadian authorities or the Canadian government to prove that you are going to be actively investing into your own company that is going to be under your management. Now, there are two different categories of business immigration programs. There is a permanent residence group or permanent resident status group, and there's a work permit temporary resident status group. The difference between these two is here with PR or permanent residence, you would be receiving your permanent residence since day one, before you even enter the country. You take your permanent resident status and then you come in to implement what you promised to do. In the other category, which is the work permit based category, here you will be given a work permit in order to come to Canada to also implement what you promised. The difference here is you get your permanent residence since day one. Here, you need to get your work permit. Then, around 2 years later, after you finish implementing your business, that's when you apply for permanent residence. The main focal factor that differentiates these two is the fact that because you get your permanent resident status since day one, you have to give the government a deposit that stays with them until you implement what you promised against your permanent residence. On the other side, when it comes to work permits, because you did not receive your permanent resident status yet, there is no deposit, meaning you get the work permit, you do what you need to do, and 2 years into it, then you get your permanent resident status, and you only have to commit your investment amount. In general, in both categories, the investment amount when it comes to business immigration in Canada is between 125,000 Canadian dollars to around 500,000 Canadian dollars. Now, there is no such thing as one program that fits all. Canada signed agreements, so there's a federal government level and there is a provincial level government in Canada, and there are 10 different provinces and three territories as well. The federal government signed certain agreements with provinces that allows each province to select their own candidates. So each province will set up their own regulations and selection criteria for their own locally operated immigration stream for business immigration. So, work experience, business ownership experience, senior management experience. All these different factors and the net worth, etc., all of them will qualify you in specific places. So we cannot say that, well, Manitoba is a very famous program that there's no such thing as this is the right program for you. Based on your own individual factors, you would have to qualify for a specific immigration stream under the business immigration category and then get certain number of points. The Canadian immigration system in 2014 and onwards has changed from first come, first serve to whoever has the highest points goes first. That applies to various immigration programs under the economic impact category of immigration, whether it is as a skilled professional or a business immigrant. So business immigration is based on number of points. What you need to do is to ensure that you have high enough points that would qualify you to proceed throughout the whole entire immigration system, and not just the first step of showing your interest to apply for a specific program. You actually want to be able to submit a formal application to the provincial government, and then later on a formal application for permanent residence. So assess yourself, understand which program fits your requirements, because you have options. You have more than 10 or 12 different business immigration streams in Canada. So you would see which factors, what obligations that apply to you, what things you would be benefiting from, your physical presence requirement that you have. Different factors mean different options, mean different categories that you could potentially qualify for and somebody else wouldn't be able to qualify for. We heard many times, my cousin applied under this specific program, so I would like to proceed with it as well. Well, your cousin's circumstances could potentially be different than yours. So it does not mean that your cousin was able to do this, that you can do it as well. Or it doesn't also mean that it is the best option for you. Maybe you qualify for other things as well because your circumstances are different. Now, in 2017, the government changed the legal age of what a dependent child is back to under 22. So it used to be 19, went up to 22, meaning with one investment, the principal applicant, the spouse, and all unmarried children under the age of 22 could be included in one permanent residence application under a business immigration stream, which is great. Other countries, when it comes to the business or the residency-based investment programs, they do it per person, and then after that, there's going to be high level or high number of government fees or application fees that will be embedded into the actual application. In Canada, that's different. It's the principal applicant and then the beneficiaries or the dependents that come with the business. So, feel free to use the information that's on the screen. Contact us, get in touch with us, get your assessment done. Understand what options do you have. Understand which is the most viable option for you, because there are certain things that you could qualify for and other things that could also affect you when it comes to the factors of eligibility under a certain program. We look forward to hearing from you so that we can help you pick the right business immigration program. And thank you so much for taking the time to watching this show from Incubate.